All right, let's move on to the 11-4 Kansas City Chiefs taking on the 9-6 Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati. This should be a hell of a game, the game I'm looking forward to the most. And the Chiefs are coming off of a drubbing of the Steelers. 36-10 was the final score. And the Bengals had a blowout win as well against the Ravens 41-21, where John Harbaugh didn't like the fact that the Bengals were throwing the ball deep when he himself is kind of a little bit of a hypocrite here.
Yeah, says the guy that wanted to run the ball to keep the 100-yard running game streak. Shut up, Harbaugh.
Yeah,
I love Harbaugh, and at times it's just like, just shake hands and get off the field. But
yeah.
Honestly, I think this is going to be the game of the week. Kansas City, they're going up to Cincinnati. You're going to get some skyline chili. It's going to be a fun time. Personally, I'm going to go contrarian. I actually think the Bengals can possibly have a puncher's chance in this game.
I'm feeling that way too.
The spread's 5.5, depending on what book you're looking at. The over-under's at 50, which I feel is about right. If I'm going to look at the over-under, I'm probably going to look over the 50 here. But breakdown of the game, I like Cincinnati in the spot. I mean, Joe Burrow showed me a lot. He went scorched earth after a couple of comments made by Wink Martindale, the defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. Granted, this is going to be his first time going up against the Steve Spagnuolo defense, and we've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks. The Chiefs defense has really started to come into their own down the key playoff stretch here. The Chiefs just punched their ticket. They secured the AFC West. They have the best record in the NFL right now, or at least in the AFC. So they're the number one seed. But the Bengals defense has been a pleasant surprise all year long. Kelsey, I believe, is still on the COVID list. He's probably got a good chance of coming back for this game. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he's got a dinged up shoulder. So if he doesn't go, it's going to be the Jerick McKinnon, Derek Gore running back show in the backfield. But it's just a vibe, just something about Joe Burrow just at will getting his guys, his wide receivers, like the Tyler Boyds of the world, the Jamar Chases of the world and whatnot, getting in sync. I think he's still going to have some success pushing the ball down the field, and I think it's going to be inside of a field goal game. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a 2-point game at the end, but I think Cincinnati could win this game.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning Cincinnati as well, Puma, and a lot of it comes down to just the swagger that Joey Burrow has, man. I've been so impressed with what I've seen out of him, man. Like, he threw 525 yards on the Ravens defense. And granted, I understand the Ravens were battling quite a bit of COVID issues and injuries, but to throw 525 yards anytime in the NFL against anybody, that's quite the accomplishment, man. Like, he looked really good, and I'm happy for him, man. He came off that knee surgery last year. His rookie season was cut short, and he seems to have picked up right where he left off. And this is a big litmus test game for the Bengals. There's a lot of buzz around the Bengals in Ohio. A lot of fans are starting to get amped up about the Bengals. They think that they're the legit and real deal. And you will find out this weekend if you are or not, because you are playing the top dog in the AFC, the team that you're going to measure up against for the next 10 to 15 years. The guy that Joe Burrow has to be for the next 10 to 15 years is Patrick Mahomes, and he has to have a good performance on Sunday, and I think he will. I think a lot of this comes down to the fact that this offense is now, early in the year, it was a lot of just, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, and that's it. Now T. Higgins is getting involved. T. Higgins is becoming the player we thought he was going to be. Tyler Boyd had, 3 receptions for 85 yards and a touchdown. Joe Mixon is running the ball really well. CJ Uzama, there's all around the field, they've got good weapons. And on top of that, defense is playing good. Now, on the other end, the Chiefs, man, they're just rolling. They're coming off of an absolute beatdown of the Pittsburgh Steelers where it was just embarrassing. I think I watched maybe 2 drives of that game against the Chiefs and the Steelers, and I was like, yep, Chiefs are going to blow this game out. I don't need to watch anymore because the Big Ben looks so bad. He's so dumb.
Yeah, wait.
But
wrong name.
Geriatric Ben, right?
Thank you.
But the Chiefs, they're running into form, man. We talk about this every week. They're looking scarier and scarier by the day. The AFC had a chance when those guys were struggling to really put their, their foot on the necks and kind of hold them down. They didn't do that, and now they're kind of bouncing back and just rolling people. Patrick Mahomes had 3 touchdowns, 258 yards. He looked really good. Their running game looked decent. Their defense, is the one key factor of their team that's improved the most. So, all that being said, I still got the Bengals to win, but it is going to be close. It's going to be somewhere in the realm of a 27-24 game. A little bit more lower scoring. It's going to be a little cold in Ohio this week. We might have some weather. That might affect it with an outdoor stadium. So it's going to be a fun game, though. I'm super excited to watch this game.
Now, is this at 1 o'clock? They didn't flex this game, right?
They didn't flex at 1 o'clock, man.
Man, what the
The NFL is usually really good about flexing these kind of games, but I don't understand why they didn't do it, you know?
Right, they did the same last week. Like that Bills Buffalo Bills pass game. That should have been like a 4:05, 4:25 game. They left it in the 1 o'clock time slot. I don't know. I got no words, but well, I think this should be a 4 o'clock game.
Yeah, a 4 o'clock game. Yeah, definitely. I would have moved it to the 8 o'clock game. Truthfully, I understand that it's the Vikings and Packers, and that's a big rivalry. I get that, but I think this game would have been so much fun to watch on primetime, man.
Mm-hmm.